Hello, my name is Aiden Fetter. Today I will be supporting the claim that the internet is addictive and explaining what exactly internet addicts are addicted to. Before I begin, I would like to go over just how often the internet is used on a day-to-day basis. As of recently, 3.96 billion people, or about 51% of the world's population, use social media today, with more than 1 million users joining daily. If you exclude kids under 13, that makes 65% of the world's population. Out of those numbers, 80% of users use mobile devices to access content, and in the US, people spend about 2 hours and 3 minutes a day on their cell phones. On top of that, people interact with their phones about 5,427 times a day. Interactions could be swiping, tapping, or anything of the sort. The results of a study done on internet addiction show that the dependents tested spent an average of about 38 hours per week on the internet for non-academic or non-employment related purposes. Those who did spend this much time on the internet recorded drawbacks such as lower grades, issues with existing relationships, or decreased or poor work performance. For those who were tested to only spend about 8 hours on the internet, there were no major effects. Out of the 185 people tested, 46% of them admitted to getting to less than 4 hours of sleep due to late-night logins on social media. This can have major brain effects in the long run, including tiredness, slower reaction time, or memory issues, both short-term and long-term. In another study conducted on 157 male subjects and 239 female subjects, the two most commonly used internet services include chat rooms and MUDs, which are multiplayer, real-time worlds such as player versus player, or role-playing games, or interactive fiction. And this leads me to my first point. One of the things that makes the internet so addictive is video games. As of today, there are over 2.5 billion gamers in the world, 70% of which are 18 years or older and 56% of which play games online. On average, a gamer spends about 7 hours playing online. In America, 60% of people play daily, with 3/4 of all US households owning at least one gaming device. One of the main aspects of video games that make them so addicting is the multiplayer feature that they come with. Multiplayer allows for people to play with others for hours on end, which is a simple internet connection. The person that you're playing with could be in the other room, they could be in another state, they could even be across the world. Since the release of multiplayer, the number of people purchasing and playing video games have increased drastically, and have now made them one of the most commonly used programs on the internet. In the survey mentioned earlier, I stated that the two most commonly used internet services were chat rooms and MUDs. When the subjects were asked why they were utilizing these programs the most, they responded with the statement that it allowed for them to say what they wanted to say without the fear of being judged. This is another reason why video games are so addicting. Online games allow for people to say what they otherwise wouldn't say in real life, whether it's good or bad. Because of this, a gamer can easily lose track of time if they're playing with people online. Although video games are a big part of an internet addict's addiction, they're also addicted to the idea of self-pleasure. When I say self-pleasure, I'm talking about 3 specific things: the ability to have a place within society, sexual pleasure, and online purchasing. FOMO, or the fear of missing out, is defined as the anxiety or motivation a person feels when they want to belong to some group, event, or even a moment that others are posting about. This feeling can arise due to social exclusion, isolation, or loneliness, and mostly occurs when a person is doing homework or at work, since they are not physically connected to the internet. An article written on this states that people will abandon what they are doing to join or consume a fleeting moment on social media. FOMO is directly linked to nomophobia, which is the fear of not having your phone due to an excessive amount of smartphone use or social media use. If a person is constantly on their phone, they may feel as if they turn it off, they are missing important moments in their life, which is just not true. In fact, this can lead to very negative effects that can hurt them. For example, it can lead to lower self-esteem, greater emotional instability, anxiety, and loss of sleep. The ability to have a place within society is not the only form of self-pleasure that the internet addict is addicted to. They are also addicted to the idea of sexual pleasure. A statistics website states that 1/4 of all search engine requests are pornographic. 2/3 of high school juniors have viewed online pornography. 34% of students are at risk for developing an addiction. 8.9 million people in the United States need addiction therapy because they cannot contain themselves. Most consumers are between 12 and 17 years old. And finally, only 3% of porn websites require adult verification, meaning that anyone can join any website at any time they want. There are no restrictions. The reason why someone would get addicted to this is due to loneliness, depression, or any other negative feeling that they may experience. However, online activities like this have a drug-like effect on both the mind and the body, which makes them very addictive to people susceptible to this. It can negatively affect them intellectually, emotionally, or socially. Since the internet is just a few clicks away, it is very easy to get addicted to this kind of pleasure. The final form of self-pleasure that the internet addict is addicted to is online shopping. As of today, there are over $4.2 trillion worth of e-sales, or an expected $6.5 trillion by 2022. There are over 2.05 billion online shoppers, or about 27% of the world's population. And in a survey conducted, about 75% of shoppers were tested to shop online at least once a month. But what exactly makes online shopping so addictive? Well, for starters, it's simpler, quicker, cheaper, and saves gas. You don't have to drive from store to store all the time. You can also find a good number of products that you couldn't otherwise find in retail stores. Although these are good, there are many negative aspects of online shopping that many people need to address. For example, offline businesses such as Toys R Us and Walmart have been suffering due to a lack of business. In fact, recently a Toys R Us shut down due to this. People lose the physical communication and interaction between employees of companies because they're all shopping online. Many retail workers are left jobless because companies can no longer afford them. People cannot resolve issues about a product as easily as you can in person because you have to ship the product back and wait for a reply. And finally, online shopping is addicting to everyone, not just kids or teens. In conclusion, the internet is a place where people can come together and share their own ideas with the world. However, due to factors such as video games, the need to have a place within society, sexual pleasure, and online purchasing, the internet has become an addiction to many people and has slowly begun to take control of their lives. Companies very easily take advantage of these addictions in order to make as much money as possible, and know exactly what to show consumers so that they stay attached for as long as possible. If we do not begin to realize just how addicted we are, we will never be able to address the issues at hand, and nothing will ever change. In the end, if we are not careful, we will all become slaves of the internet. Thank you.